Hello everyone. This is the final live of the event series, so I am super buzzed and really excited that it's not just going to be me, it's going to be me and one of my long-term clients. We always do this so you guys get a feel of my clients' experiences, not just me telling you about the school. I know lots of you watch this on the replay as well, so hello if you're watching this now, hello if you're watching this later. Hi Tam Tam. And we're just going to give Camille a couple of seconds to hop on and to share the screen with me. And whilst we wait for Camille to appear, which I'm sure won't take long, I just wanted to ground you in what's happening this week. Hi Lonnie. This is the final week, guys, that I've been mentioning a lot to get in on one of our long-term memberships on their old pricing. The School of IH is having a complete back-end upgrade and a complete rebrand. So we're absolutely buzzed about this, obviously, because it's really important for us to always be improving our quality of service and the learning experience and the support experience for our clients. I always say this, it's our mission to go above and beyond the industry norm. And so we mean that in the fact that it's quite an investment in time and money that we're doing to update our systems and, not run everything from Facebook pages anymore, even though this is what normally is done, to get support coaches, to get all of these pieces. But we're doing it because we want our humans to have the best, most optimal experience with us. So if you wanted to get in on the old prices, like I've said 1 trillion times, now is the time. If there is no rush for you, then come and join us on all the parties that we have in February to relaunch the school, because that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be having a lot of parties to relaunch the school, to relaunch the certification, to relaunch the mastermind. I'm super buzzed about that. And then I'm not going to go through the bonuses again, but just a reminder, it's Wednesday. Everything ends on Friday. We may stream a bonus video through for you guys tomorrow. I need to speak to my team about it if we can find it. We've done so many videos. And Camille, darling, do you wanna hop on and share the screen with me? Do you want to invite yourself in? Do you know how to do that, or do I need to invite you? How do I do? Oh, I don't know if I would know how to invite you. Camille, when you come back, darling, I can invite you. As Camille appears again, I'm sure she'll be back in a second. Always the fun of technology. So yeah, there's going to be a bonus video streamed tomorrow. That won't be me live. That would be a pre-recorded one where I'll talk about the terror barrier, which is kind of one of the biggest blocks to people stepping into their greatness. It's that fear of, and fear is really interesting. It's really smart because fear is often masked as logical reasoning and thoughts like, I don't have time, or da-da-da-da-da, and all of this stuff. So I'm super excited to stream that through for you guys tomorrow, whether you use it to cross the terror barrier to join the school or in other areas of your life where you need to make a big, bold move that's courageous. Camille, there you are, darling. I invite you. Darling, can you invite yourself? Because for some reason, when I click to invite, the only person that it allows me to invite is Lonnie. Are you able to invite yourself, darling, from the other side? No. Okay. I don't know what to do, darling, because when I say to invite, it only comes up with... Okay, so have a look at the bottom of your screen. Guys, live, us figuring out technology. If you look at the bottom of your screen, Camille, there's different buttons, and one of them is invite yourself. In the comments, it should have a button that says request to join. and on the bottom of the screen, it should say request to join. I don't know if it's your internet, darling, because I can invite Lonnie, I can't invite Tamsin. If you're watching the replay, guys, you've literally got a huge advantage. You can just fast forward this bit. If you're on here with us live, you're gonna have to bear with us. There we go. Here you are. It should be adding you. And we're ready to go. The suspense. What's Camille gonna say, guys? I feel like we should be drum rolling. She's here. Camille, I'm wondering if it's your internet, because I've put... Oh, there you are! Yay!
Okay. I need to set that up because... Okay.
You made it, babe. It doesn't matter. You made it. There was a mission, okay, and it's been completed, and it's only, 11 a.m. on a Wednesday morning.
Yeah, for me, it's like 5.
It's 5 in the morning?
No, 5 p.m.
Oh, I was going to say, I didn't realize you
I'm still... Okay. I'm still in Thailand.
You're still in Thailand. So everyone, this is Camille, as you may guess. Camille has been with us in the school, first in the School of IH, and then she joined the certification program in November. Camille, you joined the school in August?
August, I believe.
It was August. It was early August, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so I would love you to just share a little bit, because what I've been really speaking to people about on Instagram is the difference between doing a course like Multidimensional Business or the Energetic Accelerator that's very purpose focused, right? But the School of IH, it's a slightly different concept. It's not just about what you learn, because you'll learn a lot, but it's about the commitment to long-term mentorship. And you bloody get that, because you're booked in and paid until 2024, right?
Yep.
So I'm like, you get this. You can speak about this. So if you could share your experience in the school, in the certification, and why you would book mentorship for that long. Like what does it give you? What are you doing that for? In your own words, I'd love to hear that.
Yes. So let's start first with like why I joined the School of IH. So I have felt the calling of being in a space where I have kind of everything that I want and everything that I need, and where like what I loved is also all the practices that you have, all the bodies that you teach is something that really like speaks to me. And I felt that I kind of entered something where I would grow, and I have the time to grow, and it would kind of, like yesterday we were talking about, I'm lost in the day, I think it was yesterday, we were talking in the energetic accelerator about the cycles, and I feel that, when you join a program for like a month, 2 weeks, something like that, you have only a few of your small cycles, but you don't have the medium one, and you for sure don't have the bigger one usually. And so what I wanted to leave, to also kind of give to myself, is to be held amongst a really long period, to see like how to navigate everything that I could live in a year through like being mentored, like being in a space where we have calls 3 times a week, and where I could bring like all of myself, all the different kind of, you know, time of harvest and planting the seed and so on. And so I think it's very different also from a course, in a way that in a course I come with this kind of specific intent. So for example, I don't know, in the energetic accelerator, I'm looking for like to kind of have this energy boost and to take action and so on. So it's really, I'm going there for a specific kind of outcome. For the multidimensional business, for example, I took the course because I wanted to take my business further. So I have kind of clear expectations, you know, and it's more specific in a way. For me, the School of IH, I have this kind of bigger, broader intention for my life that is too big in a way to just address in like a couple of weeks in a course. And also what I feel the difference is that, for example, in multidimensional business, like Hannah gave like a fucking load of stuff. So you need time to digest, you know. And some people are super quick and like amazing, but if you are a bit slower, you know, it's easy to just be like, oh yeah, actually I forgot about that course, and then, you know, like you don't touch it for a year, or, you know, like there's this kind of, you know, you don't put into practice the course. That happens pretty often. When you are in the School of IH, it's like, well, if you don't practice a week, well, you have the next week, and then you have the other next week, and then you have the month after. So it's like kind of you repeat, and you really take the embodiment of the practices to a next level through the repetition. And obviously the idea is to do the same with a course, but often, you know, and I think this is also why I love this kind of, you know, space where you can be long-term, is that life is happening, and even if we are the leaders of our lives, it's also nice to work along with someone, you know, where you can share what you're experiencing, that you had a shitty day, and that even though you know you are going to go through that, you just need a space to share, and maybe someone to just cheer you up, and someone to share like their perspective. And I feel it's like much more easy to, it's much easier to just like bounce back, you know, and actually go back into this kind of embodiment practice, because I think it's all goes back to that. It's like, okay, it's amazing to know we are in a society that has, you know, like Descartes from France. It's like, je pense donc je suis. It's like everything is happening here. You get a lot of information, but what do we do with the information if we don't take it into like doing something concrete, and if we don't embody it, that's not really going to change anything.
100%. I love everything that you've shared, and I think it's a good conversation to have, because I always talk about making an informed purchase. If you know that you need a specific thing for business, right? Because I do short-term business courses all of the time. Like, oh, I just want to learn how to grow my audience in this way, or I just want to learn this skill. Like, how do I sell a 6-figure offer? Okay, I'll do a short course on selling a 6-figure offer. It's very functional, right? But when you're in a mentorship, it's like you have all of these courses, because in the school you have all of these learning platforms, you have all of these modalities, but it's more about, are we doing it? Do you know what I mean? And because I see this, and everyone that joins the school has ideas and dreams for a big and beautiful life, right? And the big thing that stops people is that they learn all the information, they read all the books, they're constantly consuming Instagram content, and what are you doing with it? And it's the doing that's going to change your life, right? And so when do people actually not create their dreams? It's when they come to a free event like we've just had, and everyone feels super activated. I woke up this morning at 10 a.m. Can you imagine? I did not realize I was going to wake up at 10 a.m., but I did. And I had so many messages from people like, this is incredible, I've loved this, this is amazing. And so when we enter a live event, it's like we go into a peak state, right? Like after Tony Robbins, everyone is super, you know, a weekend, super inspired. But how many people actually take that and do something with that in their life, right? And that's where long-term mentorship comes in. It's not, I need to squeeze everything out of these 3 days and I need to hold this all myself. It's no, I understand the consistency, which is sometimes boring, right? The repetition, the mastery is what's going to get me to where I want. And it's holding that heightened state, right? Which is much easier when there are other people in that with you that's going to create transformation, right? Because what happens after we finish a live event? What happens after we leave Tony Robbins conference? We go back to our families. We go back to our environment. We go back to our old patterns of thinking, right? And so it's so easy to just slip back into old ways. And I love to talk about this, Camille, and I'd love for you to share about this experience. You know, I'm someone that's in always long-term commitments, because I don't like to feel that I have to rush to get the most out of everything, and that I have to do everything, and that because that actually puts me into not a fun state. But what I also love is that there's resources for when life happens. Because there's this misconception that when you do personal development work, you know, you're going to be farting roses for the rest of your life. And especially if you want to do something extraordinary and up level and, you know, quantum leap, like you're going to go through stuff. And so for me personally, as someone that buys this type of thing, that's the invaluable resource to me, that this shit's here to celebrate the good stuff. And this shit's here when, you know, I'm just in it. I'm just in Jaguar and I need someone to hold Eagle, right? Can you give some actual examples of that for you and how that's been for you?
Yeah, for sure. And just to, because it's pointing to something that I wanted to say and I forgot. It's like when you enter, because what I love in the School of IH is that you have this business side where you actually go through very practical stuff that we would get in a bigger, like, we would get also like in other programs, you know, but you also get the whole part, which is the beginning, is the healing, the integrative healing part. And I don't know for you, but for me, like, I don't see myself as going like in a week stuff and just healing. I see that as a process that is not long, but that I just want to, it's just a work in progress. It's just something that I want to take the layer off. I want when life to happen to just, you know, like be able to live from a space that is more and more and more aligned, more and more and more embodied, more and more like powerful. And this is really through this kind of giving you the time to just, you know, peel the layer and go deeper. And you need time to do that. So it's also like this, you don't need to rush your healing. It's like give you the space, you know, like give your nervous system the space, as you shared at the beginning. It's like you don't have to rush. Like the space is here. You'll have the time to experience everything, and to take it deeper and to really see how you evolve, you know. And I think this is also super nice. And so practically, like the celebration is something that like really nice. We start all the calls with celebration and gratitude, which feels really, really amazing. And more the kind of in the tough part, it's processes that you have, you know. For example, in the certification, I have like my buddy Jessica. We are what's the name? We are actually doing the processes. The word, we are practicing every week or every other week. So when one of us has something that is difficult, we have a space where we can actually do the process. But I can do it with myself, but I also have someone that, you know, I can take the situation to, and we go through the process that we learn in the school and we learn in the certification, and we apply it for ourselves and we apply it with the people. And so we go deeper. And then we see it every time that there is like kind of a live or something that is happening. You can post in the group, you can share, and you also have like everybody is here to, you know, like just hold space for you. That's the more like kind of the community part. But all the tools that I learn, it's like that, it becomes my kind of toolbox for my everyday challenges. So when something is not working, I'm like, okay, what tool can I use? Okay, I can use the shamanic lenses. I can do an emotional release. I can connect to my inner child. I can do rewilding. Okay, that, like today, what I do, like kind of my practices are very intuitive. So in the week, I'll be like, okay, I feel that, you know, like I want to do a rewilding session, and I may do one day, and I may do actually a couple of one this week, and then I'll do, and I listen to one of the replays a couple of times, you know. And so it's really like, you know, you say it's a buffet, you know. So, and I'm just getting out of like 9 days detoxing. So I really like kind of, you know, like this, the amazing gift that it is to just be able to pick, you know, what you need from a space, like being attuned to, you know, like who you are and so on, that you kind of, you develop also this connection. It's amazing because you don't always need to do like kind of journaling and being in the mind, you know, that you don't always need to be in the body either, or in the emotion either. So here you can really like first get to understand what does it mean to be a multidimensional being, and what does it mean to live from the different spaces, the different dimensions, and you can nurture the different like dimensions based on what you go through life, you know. And you have all these tools that you can then take into your own life, your own practice, to take you to the next level, to heal, to get to your business to the next level, to dare to, you know, like take action, the trigger barrier, all that kind of stuff. So I feel that it's kind of, you know, and I mean, I love that work and I'm also in it, but what I feel is that this is stuff that we should be teaching at school, you know. And so I feel that, you know, as adults, because like most of the people that are in school and here are still adults, even they can be younger, and that's amazing. This is an amazing opportunity that we have, you know, to really get that for ourselves, to heal, to transform, to empower ourselves, so we can also share that, you know, to our children, to the people that we have around us, our family. Because one person that is kind of giving like herself or himself the chance to join and to shift and decondition some stuff and so on, it's not one person, it's the family, it's the friends, it's the workplace, it's the children after that, you know. So every time you shift something through, like within you, through the epigenetic, it's not going to be transmitted to your child. So it's also, how can you, you know, like think big and far, you know, in what can be the impact of just giving you the chance to be in that kind of space. I don't know if I answered your question.
No, you did. It was brilliant. I loved everything that you said. And to speak about you can't rush your healing, let's talk about this on like a physiological level. If you try to force someone to release an emotion, if you try to force a healing, what happens is the nervous system sticks, it gets stuck, and you can't do anything, right? And this is why, you know, when we come to clearing something, if we're coming to it from a place of I need to fix this and this to go away, and it's not a place of like gentle awareness, right, and compassion, then you're going to do the opposite, right? And so if you're going about your healing journey the same as you go about your work, you might actually be doing more damage than you are doing healing. And it's like, exactly like Camille said there, I use practices intuitively. That's the idea, that you become your healer, right? You're held in a space, but it's like, what do I need now? And learning that. Because it's not about, oh, look, Hannah comes in and saves everyone. It's about learning that you're your own hero and you're that powerful. And it's awakening the power and the leadership and the potential within yourself. And also the community that we have, like everything that you said with Jessica, I love that. And I always encourage it. I'm like, you're learning these processes, you've got all of these people in this group with you, do it between each other. When something comes up, do it between each other. Like it's the best thing that you can do. And exactly how you said about that ripple effect. And I suppose the kind of final thing that I would like to touch on with you, Camille, is that why did you choose the certification? I know you're not a newbie to healing, right? I know you've got a business. You've worked with people for a long time. It's not that you've never done a process before. It's not that so why did you decide to do the certification on top of just having the support and the embodiment and the practice and everything else?
Well, I want your name on my website. So that's, I mean, yes, for sure, but just as a joke. Kind of you came into my life at a moment where I really was kind of got the message about what I wanted to create, and it had this kind of 4 dimension, and it had the shamanic perspective, and it's kind of blew my mind, kind of, you know, like this manifestation piece where you this is just what you teach, you know. And I'm like, okay, she has done it super beautifully. I love your energy. I as I told you when I signed one more round of the School of IH, I want to see you on the moon, you know, talking to really like at beautiful podcasts and so on. So I feel that being in your space is gonna, like, you know, give me energy to get the most out of who I am also, you know. There is this part, and instead of going and kind of, you know, getting more training in different bits and pieces, I really love the fact that I could find all of that in one space. And I had already been in school for like a couple of months when you offered that, so I had tasted what you offered, the different processes, the way you teach, your consistency, like everything that we have access to in the school. And I was like, okay, I love that. So why should I, you know, like, if I want to deepen some of the bits and pieces that I don't have, because the shamanic part is like, I know I'm connected to that energy. I know it in my body, as you shared about the doula, like the death doula stuff. I know it's here, but I haven't done trainings, you know. And I also, like, my mind is like, okay, I'm super interested to get more, like, to learn processes, and not always on my own. This is also something I learned a lot on my own, from my intuition, from the books. And I also love to be held in a container where I learn from someone, you know, when I get to ask my questions, where I get to be held in processes, where I get to practice processes on people who are actually in the same container, you know. So I think, like, yeah, for me, you came and I was like, okay, yeah, like, that's amazing. So that's all the stuff that I want to be talking about. Like let's take that work to my clients, you know, more. And I feel also from more the business side, I really see you as someone who is going to grow. And I'm very happy, you know, to be part of the first ones to be at the front row, you know, in that in what is coming. There are still some spots, so you can join us. But
it's very subtle,
you know,
Camille.
Like, there is a mix of different stuff. There is really a mix of, that was like the kind of, you know, like the synchronicities of what I wanted to manifest, and you came, everything, and I'm like, okay, I want to build that kind of stuff. So, like, my energy, but you have done it successfully. Like, why would I try to find something different, bits and pieces, when I have someone that I like? I love the way you teach, I love what you share, that I can learn from. So that was the first. Then I really, I love all the tools and techniques and the modalities that you teach. And the other one is really kind of, you know, inspirational, and also kind of a business decision in a way. It's like, I can invest in people who have been there for a long time. Maybe I will be one amongst, you know, like hundreds of people that are doing the course every year. And I love to be in the first ones. So that was really something, because, you know, it's like, it's not that I didn't do it because of that. I did it because I'm convinced by what you offer. I'm convinced by the modalities. I am convinced by all that work. I want to take it through my work more. And I also want to be living your experience from the front row in the upcoming years. And this is why I resigned for the School of IH. And I feel this is really nice, because we don't often have the chance to really grow, you know, with a leader that is kind of taking off, you know. And I don't want to be looking like, oh, well, I'm very inspired by Hannah. Well, maybe I'll join later. Oh, now she's over the moon. How am I going to get there? So I was like, okay, I'm going in the, I don't know how you call that. I'm going with you in the space stuff. So, yeah.
Okay, what I want you guys to hear, and what Camille is saying very beautifully and cracking me up, is that it's one thing to be certified by someone who is really well-versed intellectually in what they teach. Maybe they understand the modalities really well. Maybe they've got a lot of research under their belt, and it's different to be mentored by someone who is living this with you. And I think this is what I get a lot, actually, as much as it's funny, from my clients, is that people go back on my Instagram and they see me a year ago, and they see me 2 years ago, and they see me 3 years ago, and they're like, she's really created it from fucking nothing. She was not that person. And so when you've got someone that's leading you, that's living it, right, that is teaching from their actual experience, firstly, then it makes you believe that it's more possible for you. And also, you just know that that person isn't there to sell you the fucking wheel, right? It's not, and there's nothing wrong with this, but it's not that I've come from a successful family that already had connections that, do you know what I mean? And then it kind of was, I've really built it from nothing. And I think that says something. And then the second thing that I want you to hear Camille saying is that the School of IH is going to mass audience this year, right? That's the seeds that we're planting. You know, we're going to a world stage, we're going to a world platform. It will take me however long it takes me, but, you know, Camille sees, and I think this is why people sign up to the School of IH. When I say things, I do them, because that's what leadership means. Yeah. If I'm going to tell you something, it's not a fantasy, it's not a dream. I'm not the kind of person that you hear say something and that doesn't follow through, right? And so, you know, I'm telling my clients, which it's an intimate circle, right? The School of IH, the certification especially. I'm telling the truth. They're watching it. They know that it's going to happen. They know that integrative healing isn't going to be, you know, oh, what is it? It's going to be known, right? And so it makes sense that you get in now. And then obviously as the business grows, it's not going to be as easy for me to be on all the lights and da-da-da-da-da. And so things will change, and things do change. And so I love that that's your reasoning. That's not what I said, Camille, in audio yesterday. I was like, babe, just say whatever you want. I want you to tell the truth. Like, I'm not going to ask you to say anything. I didn't know that she was going to say that, but I absolutely love it. And the final thing that I wanted to say about the certification is that I don't joke when I say it's 11 years in the making, right? I look really young. And sometimes people, you know, when people first meet me, they think that I'm younger than I am. I am 30, right? I started at 19 because of all of the life situations that I mentioned. And I did a lot of modalities. And I say this a lot. I brought them together because they make sense together. And so it makes sense to me that people can get certified in a year for 25,000 instead of way over 100K, right? Over 11 years. Like, for me as a projector, and I'm all about systems and efficiency, like, there's a level that just makes sense there. Exactly like Camille was saying, it's like, you know, when we serve our clients, how much more powerful is it to be able to serve them multidimensionally, instead of, I learned this one modality, and if your thing doesn't fit into this one modality, then I don't know what to say to you. And that's what I love about the school as well, is that, and Camille, maybe you can attest to this, is that people come, and some days you'll go for a process, some days you'll do breath work, some days you'll go with a guest facilitator. Shani does the rewilding, not me. And my intention isn't to prove, oh, look at me, how spiritual and great I am, look at me knowing all the things. It's like, no, I want to create a place where there are so many resources that you guys get what you need. And it becomes about the client and the service, instead of me needing to prove anything. Do you kind of see where I'm going with that? And do you feel that as being certified and as someone who is receiving?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, like, my brain is always making connections between, like, the body, the mind, the emotions, the energy, the spiritual. So it's like, for me, it doesn't make sense to just do one modality. I mean, and I think, you know, we are also moving out of that. So maybe people, more and more people, just they get to realize that it's not complicated, but we are complex being in a way that we have this kind of multidimensional, we are a multidimensional being, and being able to just, you know, like, learn to play with that and move from one to the other, one thing to the other, and so on. It's, for me, it's a really very interesting tool to master whatever you do. And something that I also wanted to share, and I've had kind of this also reflection in my business, is that what I love in the School of IH, it's, you can join whether you are employed you are a coach, you are, I don't know, hypnotherapist, you are like breathwork practitioner, you are whatever.
Real estate agent. We get a lot of real estate agents. I don't know why, but that happens.
You like bamboo, you like whatever, because you are still a human being, and even the business skills are related to like human capacities and human abilities that can be used in your own personal life, you know. It's like, yeah, but I don't need to learn selling, or I don't need to learn to define, you know, like my objective. Well, yes, I mean, like learn that and see how your life is going to change, you know, even though you don't own a business. So I feel that there is this piece of, it's for everyone as soon as you are ready to just, you know, go on that journey of like pulling the layers, empowering yourself, healing, discovering new modalities, and just, you know, like also being there to change, you know, what needs to change in your family, in your environment, whatever. We have stuff that needs to evolve in the world for sure. So it's like, how can each of us, you know, through these tools, be one person that is going to be a change in the world. And I think that, you know, bringing all the modalities together is really something that it's making it so much easier in a way. It doesn't mean that it's easy, but it means that it really makes it easier because you have the tools that you need. You cannot deal with the mind the same way you deal with the emotions, the same way you deal with the body. So if you, as you said before, if you go through the mind with like the energetic tools, and you go through the energetic tools through the mind and the other way around and so on, it's not the best way to actually have a result. So here you get to understand everything, how to live more powerfully.
100%. I love the fact that you said that, because is the School of IH just for entrepreneurs? Absolutely not. I would say the prerequisite is that you're committed, right? You want to take action. You want to live an extraordinary life, whatever that looks like for you, which is why I got everyone to define that for themselves on day one, like whatever that looks like for you. And then, like we always say, the School of IH is a buffet. So if I'm teaching specific online business strategies, don't come to that session. Do you know what I mean? There are so many other sessions that you can watch. And the great thing about the hub is that we're just going to organize things a bit more. So if you are coming for more like trauma or healing or any of that, it's going to be a lot easier, which is what we really want to really create, that kind of learning experience for people to tap into different things, right? So I'm really excited. That's kind of why we're doing it, so we can kind of open and people can really see, oh no, this is for me. I just know that I need to use it in my way, right? And maybe I will go to some of the selling workshops, because who bloody knows, right? But maybe I'm not going to go to how to build an online coaching container course. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm not going to click on that one. Fine. And then we also have Tamsin, who's there to tag you into lives, direct you to the appropriate trainings. G is support coaching for the certification program. And so there's layers to it, and we do really take into consideration customer experience. That is something that's really important for us. My love, I think we're coming up to 40 minutes. Is there any final thing that you would like to say? If not, I think we can close this really beautifully. And thank you so much for coming on and just kind of sharing your experience.
I'm just really excited to see who is going to join and to meet you kind of, you know, on the other side of the terror barrier, if there is one, and maybe there is not. So maybe, you know, like you're already kind of clicking on the link. And also same for the certification. I feel it's just what I like, also the fact that it's evergreen, is that we always have new people coming, and you don't know who you're going to meet. And maybe you'll just join in a space and you meet someone who is going to be very important in your life, in your business, who is going to really matter for some time, forever, you don't know. So I'm just excited to see who is going to join, and looking forward to meeting all the people. So.
Lonnie's just asked a question which I'll respond to in a second, but I just really wanted to piggyback off what you said, because everything that you said is brilliant. And I'm like, oh my God, this is great. Thank you for sharing that. I wouldn't have said that. I'm like, I'm going to bring Camille on to share the things from now on, because I've got to the point with saying that. I'm like, there's a school, join it if you'd like to join it, and don't join it if you don't join it. So thank you for saying all the things. A big element of business is learning how to network. A big level of business is you get your foot into doors through the people that you know. And so we have to be intentional about our networking. The brilliant thing about the School of IH is that everyone is joined because they have a desire to create something. So you're suddenly in a network, right? And you don't know where that network will take you. It's something that I talk about a lot, high-level networking. I talk about it in multidimensional business, and I do a segment on it. I talk a lot about it in the mastermind, right? And so just to give you, I mean, what bits can I share that I've done through networking that I can share on an open space?
Well, just Chris also, you know.
Chris, you mean in multidimensional business?
From the six...
From Six Senses. Okay, so then that's twofold, isn't it? You know, Tamsin and I, as part of our marketing, as we go to places where our ideal clients that we want to work with would be. And so Chris came in and joined multidimensional business, and then he joined the School of IH. And we'd literally just met him through networking. But then on top of that, he has a desire to create a book, and I'm not going to tell anything more about it. And he said it in multidimensional business, and then suddenly there were like 5 people that were like, I know an illustrator, and that's literally how it works. So you want to be in spaces where people are doing the things, and you want to leverage that, okay? That's part of this. Now, to respond to Lonnie, she says, does it offer an element of counselling, like so you can help counsel others? So Lonnie, this is my belief system. I really want to be very clear in the fact that what I believe doesn't have to be what you believe. And if I ever say something that doesn't feel right for you, like, let it go. Like, I am not God. You are your God, and you choose what's true for you. My belief on counselling is that people that are trained in counselling are taught talk therapy. Now, what happens with talk therapy is that if you've got someone who hasn't talked about their stuff and they're very repressed, then yes, that's a brilliant first step. But when you talk about a traumatic event, it reactivates the physiological processes, right, in the body, right? And so the body thinks that it's happening again. Now, if you stick to only talk therapy, you can't clear the energetic residue, you can't clear the emotional patterns, and actually you're not transforming anything for that client, right? It's like just staying in Jaguar and you're talking, do you remember in Jaguar, it's what do I think and what do I feel about this event? Well, that's what counseling does. And so it's just repeating a process, right? And so maybe for someone, the talking about it was a big step and they needed that first, but you need therapies that not only take someone from talking about it, but anchoring out of it and clearing it from their system, right? So they can create change in their life. So I don't teach counseling. You know, I've shared this a lot. I had a lot of problems with depression, anxiety, and an eating disorder. And I did all of those therapies. I did, right? And I did medication. And you did the same? Yeah. Nothing changed for me of significance. And it actually wasn't until I started implementing these deeper somatic, these deeper shamanic, these deeper processes.
That's
was it
why
the same
I went
for
on
you?
that path too. Yeah, same. Yeah.
Exactly the same. So if you really want to serve people, my recommendation is through the processes that we teach, you're going to feel a lot more equipped, right, to help serve people, to resolve things in the body, in the unconscious, in the energy field. And you're actually at the end of the certification going to feel like, wow, like I feel, if you want to work with others, it's because you want to help, right? Essence, I can set that as an assumption. So we want to set you up, right, to be able to help people in the deepest, most expanded way that we know how to, right? And I'll always be adding things, yeah? Yeah, so Lonnie said, yeah, it's to help and serve others. And so that's why we teach this variety of processes. And for us, talk therapy would be a baseline, but then we would always close a process. Is there anything that you want to say on that?
I mean, I have the same background. I've been in therapy since I'm 17 or 18, couple of times, different stuff, medication, same. And it's because I didn't find really like answers in that process that I kind of find myself into more somatic approaches and different approaches. I think it's what I've said. It's like it's the mind, you know. So it's like you want to hear, like the talk therapy is coming from a moment in the history where we really consider that we were like mental beings, you know. And it's pretty new that we are emotional beings, and it's even somatic even more, and energetic, like it's happening at the moment. So I feel that it's also, we are back to the visionary part. It's like, do you want to teach something that has been taught, or do you want to lead people through something that has been taught for like decades and even probably more than that, and where we see the limitation of that because we understand now better the way the human being function, and we understand that the trauma part, which is something very important, is like a lot not in the mind, you know. And so for me, it's clearly, it's like, if you really want to help, it's like we have tools now, we have understanding now, because the world is like, all the research and stuff, it's always evolving. So it's like, let's play with the tools that are now, because this is actually what is going to help us to improve the tool that we have now to create the tools of tomorrow that probably is going to bring even more of the energetic like dimension that we're and spiritual that we're starting to in the modern society to bring back to ourselves. But for me, it doesn't make sense, and I love talking, but it doesn't make sense to spend like hours to talk about something when we know that the trauma isn't resolved through talking, you know.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
why, you know, so for me, that's, you know, it's like, yes, and this could be an amazing addition to the talk track.
Exactly, this is it. It's like the leading edge, and it's, Lonnie said, I do a lot of massage and body work, and I want to be able to help people with trauma because it all comes up with massage. Okay, then
That's
Lonnie,
amazing.
if you're already, yeah, that's amazing. If you're already doing massage and you're already used to doing body work, then I think the processes that we teach are going to be a phenomenal addition because you're used to working with someone's body. I'm guessing there's a chance that you're already intuitive with someone's body. You can already see patterns. And like you've seen with massage, that's where trauma, that's where mental health, that's where, you know, it really is the key, right? I wouldn't be where I am now if I hadn't gone into those forms of therapy, not as a practitioner to start with, but as a receiver of. So super excited. And Lonnie, if you're interested in the certification, darling, reach out to me or Tam, and we can have a conversation and answer any more questions that you may have. And
Also,
Camille, I'm going to let you get on
it
with your
if,
day.
you know, if anybody has a question, they can just throw me a message. Also happy to answer specific questions if we didn't have time to cover here. So.
Oh yeah, amazing. So yeah, guys, if do you know how many of my clients are like, tell people to message me? I'm like, okay. I have people that say all the time. So don't we have the best humans in the School of IH, right? So if you have a specific question you want to ask Camille. There you go. Amazing. Right. Thank you so much for hopping on today. Thank you for everyone listening to this now or later. I'm going to continue with my day, and I'm going to send you all so much love. So welcome, Lonnie, and yeah, thank you for your time, Camille, and you'll be seeing me on the replay tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah.
Ciao.